Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Am I the Asshole? If you are a fan of Reddit stories, please consider liking and subscribing to help support the channel. Let's dive straight into our first story. Am I the asshole for following my late sister's wishes and kicking our brother out of her funeral? Edit, I needed to bold a sentence. My sister passed away recently after a long illness, and before she died, she made very clear instructions regarding her funeral. She specifically did not want our brother John to attend or receive any of her ashes. To provide some context, growing up, my sister wasn't kind to John. John also was not great. They fought like cats and dogs. As an adult, she sought therapy, recognized the damage she had done, and tried to make amends. She apologized multiple times and reached out, but John refused to reconcile. He was clear that he didn't want a relationship with her. When she became ill, my sister made one last attempt to reconnect, asking John to visit her. He declined again, stating that he had no interest in repairing the relationship, even as she was dying. This hurt her, and she made it clear that if he didn't want to see her while she was alive, she didn't want him at her funeral or receiving any part of her remains. In her view, if he couldn't show up for her in life, he had no right to be there in death. John showed up at the funeral uninvited. I think our uncles gave him the date and time. In line with my sister's wishes, I asked him to leave. He became angry, caused a scene, and accused me of being cruel and preventing him from saying goodbye. Several family members have since criticized my decision, saying I should have let him stay for closure, saying that funerals are for the living. But I pointed out this was her last wish. He thinks I'm a huge jerk, and I am refusing to give him anything of hers still. The family is mostly split. So outside opinion, INFO, are you the legal executor of your sister's will estate or otherwise formally connected to the end-of-life process? Did your sister inform any other close relatives of her wishes? Read John, either verbally or in writing. Edit, not the asshole. Not the asshole then, and I'm sorry for your loss. I don't know why he'd attend if he didn't like her. Was he just there to cause one final scene? Not the asshole for refusing access to a private event for someone not invited. I don't know. He made it clear that he hates her until she was his ash. I don't even believe he deserves to be at the funeral. He may be her brother, but he never acted like it. Am I the asshole for refusing to drop my ex-husband's last name? I, 56 female, divorced my husband 2 years ago after 26 years of marriage. We have 4 kids, and the split was amicable. He came out as gay, and we mutually agreed to part ways. Changing my name wasn't a priority. Updating IDs, legal documents, and bank accounts would be a huge hassle. I still use his last name on official documents, but go by my maiden name socially. Recently, he got engaged to a wonderful guy. I've been supportive of their relationship, but during my grandson's birthday party, my ex suddenly asked if I'd considered dropping his last name. His fiancé chimed in, saying it makes him uncomfortable that I still use it. I was caught off guard and awkwardly joked that unless they want to spend hours in lines at various government offices, I wasn't going to change it. My ex didn't laugh. He insisted it's about starting a new chapter and wants me to move on. The whole situation felt bizarre. For 2 years, it's never been an issue, and now they're ganging up on me. After the party, my ex called and argued that keeping his name makes it hard for his fiancée to feel like they're starting a fresh life. I countered that our kids still use the same name, and it would feel strange for me to be the odd one out. What really hurt was learning from my youngest son that his fiancée feels threatened by my name, assuming I'm clinging to some claim on my ex. I've made it clear I have zero interest in rekindling anything, but it feels like I'm being pressured to erase a part of my identity. My ex admitted his fiancée is uncomfortable because he sees me keeping the name as a power play. I feel like I'm caught between trying to keep peace and being forced into something just because his fiancée is insecure. They want me to go through the hassle of changing everything for their comfort. I told my ex that he'll consider it later, maybe after they're married and settled. But now, he's furious, saying I'm being petty and selfish. My friends think I should stand my ground, but my kids are divided. One thinks I should just give in to keep the peace, while the other agrees that it's ridiculous to change it just because his fiancée feels insecure. I'm frustrated. I don't see why a name on some legal documents is such a big deal, but they're making me feel like the villain. So, am I the asshole for refusing to drop my ex-husband's last name even though he's getting remarried? Not the asshole. Don't change your name. I had my ex's name for 22 years, and changing it is horrible. I have so much stuff in that name, but as you stated, it's your children's name, and you will always be their mother. If the fiancé has an issue, it is too bad. If you change it, you will always be pissed at him for forcing you. And if you don't, he will have to get over it. Seriously, stand your ground on this one. It is horrible to change, and he is trying to take control of you and your life. If he wins this one, it will be downhill from there, with every choice you make regarding your kids and life events with the kids and the ex. I can just imagine the other demands he will make if he wins this one. Exactly this. It's not just his name, it's the kid's name too. It's your family's name. That should honestly be a red flag about the fiancé, that he wants to change that. And if they have such a problem with it, why doesn't X just take the fiancé's name? Not the asshole. Exactly this. If it's such a big deal, let your ex be the one to change his name. You share a name with your children and do not have a compelling reason to change it. The fiancé's insecurities are not enough. Not the asshole. Many people keep their ex's last name if they have children together, and it is such a lengthy and annoying process to deal with, especially if it's not something you actively feel the need to do for yourself. This seems to be more of a them issue that they need to work out as a couple. Why not suggest your ex-husband takes his partner's last name as an act of solidarity in forming this new family unit, and see how he feels about not sharing that name with his children? He probably won't want to, which further justifies your point. Not the asshole. If he sees it as that big of an issue, why doesn't the ex change his last name to his fiancé? Win-win for everyone. You two no longer share the last name. They get to be completely each other's for a fresh start. Your children still share your name. It keeps the peace without making anything your issue. Because they see an issue with it, they have to be the ones to make the change. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.